Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a project that's part nostalgia and part parody, Artie Deco from Hardware Wars. First appearing in the legendary Hardware Wars, the very first Star Wars parody made way back in 1978. Artie Deco is a quirky take on R2-D2.
At last, where have you been? Secret mission? What plan? What are you talking about? This is madness.
This is the General Electric V13 C3 vacuum cleaner. It's an upright vacuum cleaner from the 1950s. It's the base model or the base of what ultimately became Artie Deco. So this is the vacuum that they used for the film. I don't think any part of this character for that film was actually motorized or animatronic in any way. I think most of it was puppeteered. It was probably pulled on strings and things of that nature. But for this build, I'm going to put motors in it. I'm going to be experimenting with a drive system and doing some things that are new to me. I did my very best to find the attachments that were used in the film. They're different than the attachments that actually come with this vacuum cleaner. The first one is the Rex Air piece. It's all metal. There is a Kirby vacuum cleaner attachment. And then this one is the Electrolux vacuum attachment. I believe these are the three different attachments that were on the Artie Deco in the film. And we'll be figuring out a way to get all those things attached to the base here. The first step will be to dismantle this thing. Before any vacuum cleaner enthusiasts write me, know that this one doesn't work. It hasn't obviously worked in a long time. There's issues with the power cord. There's probably something wrong with the motor. And it's going to have a new life as a beloved character or something like that. So let's get started. So I ended up cleaning up all the parts, giving them, I actually wet sanded everything just to, I'm not sure what the paint was, so I just wet sanded everything to scuff it up and make sure that the new paint will stick to it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a coat of primer for the initial build of it, and then after I have everything attached and know everything's working properly and things are doing what they're supposed to do, then I will go to final paint. Okay, what I discovered is I had the model number wrong. This is the General Electric V11C3 upright canister vacuum cleaner. So it's the V11, not the V13, like I said earlier. So if you ever want to do this, just know you have to get the V11C3. This has a hole in it. That has a hole in it. These are actually the exact same size hole. And it would be very helpful if this had a hole in it. So I think what I'm going to do is just mark the bottom here roughly. so that I can just cut that out with my Dremel. So this build is going to combine old school parody with new school tech. I'm installing a Mecanum drive into Artie, and Servo City makes a Mecanum mixer board that allows you to connect all the speed controllers and the motors and everything to this board. And it does all the math and figures all the mixes out for you. Makes it very plug and play. So we'll be experimenting with this. This is the first time I've ever done a Mecanum drive. So I thought this would be a good project to do that type of drive with. So let's jump in and build this thing. So first up is to build the motor. We're going to pull off this hubcap. One thing you'll note about each one of the wheels is it indicates which one it is. This particular one, there is an R right here that says it means it's for the right side. Okay. And there you have, that's the wheel part. Probably gonna paint this black to just hide it from underneath, but we'll worry about that in a moment. Okay, so I have all 4 motors installed. I have also color coded each one of these guys. Each of those are marked now. I'm just going to put those aside. We have front left, front rear, or front right, back rear, back left. So those are going to get each one of those. So all I have to do now on this character is take each one of the speed controllers, and I need to make sure I have the right ones going in the right spot. So right now, we can just note black is left rear. With that now known, I take the black one, and that's BL. That's going to put there. And then BR is green, so this one is BR. There's a polarity to my connections. It's marked right here, signal positive, negative. And then FR is yellow, and BR, nope, FL is blue. So with all of those connected correctly, I can now connect these guys to power. Then all of these guys get connected to the right color. I'm already using a receiver that is bound to a transmitter. And I will be using for the Mecanum drive only 3 channels. The first 3 channels, 1, 2, and 3. In the transmitter, I will set up what each channel does, but for the sake of not making this super complicated, I'm going to use channel 1 for forward and reverse. I'm going to use channel 2 for strafe, or to move side to side. And then channel 3 is going to be used for spinning. The Mecanum mixer actually does all the mixing of the motors, so that when I push forward on, say, the channel 1 stick, it will drive all the wheels in the right direction. The receiver is a pretty straightforward thing. I'm not going to go too deep into
how to set one up. Every receiver and transmitter setup is a little bit different. So depending on what you buy and what you have, either the transmitter will already be bound to the receiver, or you need to bind the receiver to the transmitter when you get it.
So right now, I will turn it over. So everything's working except for that motor. This motor too, though, seems to be intermittent. Finally got the new motor in. Desoldered that one. Run that around. Resoldered this one, and it's now ready to go back into the system, and we'll see how this whole thing works once this is in.
Motor's back in, and it's still not working right. Still moving in a funny direction, funny pattern. Not sure what was happening. So upon closer inspection, I discovered that a second motor was also not working properly. So I replaced that as well, put everything back together, and it still didn't work right. So I was really starting to pull my hair out and was trying to figure out what was causing the problem. I thought it was possibly traction, that maybe the workbench is uneven, that maybe one of the wheels is coming off the ground a little bit. Maybe the wheels weren't level when I installed them, or that the workbench didn't have enough traction on that mat there. So I thought that might be a problem, but it really was behaving weirdly. And what I discovered is that I had one of the wheels in the wrong position. And what messed me up is that the wheels are marked left and right. So I put the left wheels on the left side and I put the right wheels on the right side. What I didn't realize is that the left and right referred to the slant of the wheel, not to the side of the robot. I have an illustration here that shows the orientation of the rollers on the wheels. And that really is what helped me figure this out. Because once I switched that one wheel, and I looked at that illustration and I thought, okay, this is the problem. And I switched out the wheel, and as soon as that was done, I had a little bit of a traction issue still. So I added a couple batteries on top of it, and that fixed it right up. So a little bit of weight for traction, and it worked perfectly from there on out.
What's going to happen is all of this is going to live inside of there. So I think I'm going to measure that spot. There's a mounting spot for the motor. So I'm going to laser cut a piece of wood that fits right into that spot. I think that's probably the easiest way to kind of mount everything. These bullet connectors will allow everything to kind of sit up higher into the system, and easy to disconnect and connect. So I think that's going to be my next thing to do here. I laser cut a small circle here, and this thing's just going to fit inside here like that, so all the wires can come through. I can go ahead and just mount everything onto here, and then unplug it and bolt it into that thing. All right, with the Mecanum drive sorted, figured out, I am going to add a switch into the system here. I'm using the switch that came with the actual vacuum cleaner. So this came out of this vacuum cleaner, and I tested it earlier, and it still works just fine. So I just need to put on some connectors and connect the switch to this. So really the next step is to put all three of these parts together. So I'm going to do that right now.
So I need a little bit of a opening for the switch wires. Cut this out. I'm going to install this right in. This is going to be the front of the robot right here. This leading edge right here. It's actually the back of the vacuum. The front of the vacuum has this little notch, and this little notch corresponds to where the blower comes out. So the the vacuum does something like that. And we now are put together completely. So switch here in the front. Added 2 connectors, that one and this one. This one will go to the battery. This one gets plugged directly into the power distribution board. So I just have this one plug for the battery now. So I have the blower opening to fill. So we have the blower cover. So we can put that guy back into place. I have reconnected all the motors to the speed controllers. I have connected, wired up the switch. The transmitter is on. I have the battery in hand here. And I'm going to now turn on the switch, and we should now have power. And hopefully everything moves forward. Oh, yay! Look at that. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up here. I'm going to finish up the head next week and all of the attachments and get this droid finished in the next video. Thanks for watching.